What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of October 16th. We have 5 games and one like a board game, not even a board game adjacent. It's a storage container, which I think is always great, and I'll go over exactly what it is when we get there. But it's going to be 5 different games. 2 of these games are received. Actually, well, a lot of these games are really popular. One of them has been around for a while, but there's expansions for it coming out basically. And it's an extremely popular game. It has raised in the ranks. Everyone raves about it. And there's one that just recently came out from Kickstarter. Well, 2 of them have come from Kickstarter, but this one specifically has been getting a lot of hype. A lot of hype about it. It's been talked about almost every channel. Almost every channel on YouTube has talked about it many times. And I actually am getting a little bit of FOMO from missing out. But I'll get there. I'll explain it when I get to that game. Let's get this video going and let's get started. So, if you are a retailer, well, if you are a publisher, please reach out to me if you want your games featured on these weekly videos. Please reach out to me potentially the Friday before your game's release week. That way I can make sure I add it to my list. The videos are usually recorded over the weekend to be posted on Monday morning. And I would love to showcase your games to the community. I'm sure getting the word out there will be great for all of us. So also keep in mind, I am covering the retail release dates in the US specifically. So you may have seen these games that may have been released in other regions of the world or have been around or have some coverage. That could either be from, getting... What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of October 9th. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of October 16th. We have 5 games and 1 expansion box, collector's box that's coming out. I'm featuring the collector's box just because it's honestly these games having them better in better storage. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of October 16th. We have 5 games and 1 accessory for games, basically. And I'll go over that a little bit more in detail when we get there. I just want to cover it because I think it's really important, because I know a lot of people are going to want it specifically. Even I want it, and I don't own the game yet. However, let's keep going. So there's actually a couple of these games are really popular. I mean, there's been a lot of hype around 2 of these games. One of them has been out before, but there's our expansions coming out this week, and the other one is one that came from Kickstarter and is now going to retail. The game has received a lot of buzz. Everyone's talking about it, and now I even have FOMO from not backing this game on Kickstarter and having it out for retail. So let's get this video going. These games I'm covering are going to be for the retail release of the US. Keep that in mind. These games may have been released in other regions of the world. So if they have, you might have seen coverage or pictures or reviews, and they are just now being released in the US. So I'm going to be covering those release dates. Please keep in mind we still have a global shipping crisis going on, so there might be a delay in some of these games, or the release dates might be pushed back or changed. If that does happen, I'll make sure to update you on the new video for the new release week of the game. That way we can make sure we keep you updated and keep everyone posted on the new release dates and the pushbacks. If you're a publisher and you want your game featured in this video, please reach out to me the Friday before your game's release week. That way I can make sure to have it ready and set up. I typically record and edit these videos on the weekend and have them posted by Monday morning. So keep that in mind if you are a publisher and you want your game featured. Reach out to me. Details are in the description below or in the About section. Awesome. Let's get this video going and let's get these games showcased. First things first, by Inside Up Games, releasing on October 18th, is going to be Block and Key. This game was a really amusing game because I think pattern building can be very interesting, and there's been a couple of games that do this type of pattern building with the way Block and Key does. However, this one's also really amusing the way they do it. So the game is stacked up. If you notice here in this picture, it's stacked up in 2 layers, right? The bottom is going to be where you're going to be collecting pieces to make a pattern from a card you have, and that's the whole point of the game. If you have 4 players, you sit on one side of the board of the structure here, and you're going to try to create your pattern while everyone else is trying to create their pattern as well at the same time. Your whole goal is by the end of the game is to have your pattern built to win the game, essentially. Really interesting concept. There's so much coverage about this and buzz about this game. It's actually a really interesting game. The mechanics themselves are they're very similar to a lot of games because there's a lot of pattern building games now, but I do appreciate the way they did this, and even the theme alone is really interesting. You're playing as an adventurer essentially, and you're excavating, and you're trying to you found this area where there's a lot of blocks, and you're trying to make it up so you can actually collect these key card objectives. Block and Key by Inside Out Games, coming out October 18th. Coming up next, Flamecraft, October 19th by Lucky Duck Games. This is the game I'm talking about that's having a lot of buzz. I regret not backing this officially. It's coming to retail October 19th, and it's a worker placement game. They call it a dragon placement game, an engine building game. It's about dragons, and you send them out to the market to collect different things to fulfill different objectives. So you're a flame keeper essentially, and look at these really nice components. The deluxeified copy of this looks amazing. It looks wonderful, and it looks like quality. It doesn't look like some cheapo miniatures or components. I like the fact that they actually took the time to invest into the figurines here, the meeples, and they all have different shapes and figures with the dragons themselves. So there's actually apparently has been a couple of deluxe copies available on Flamecraft, like on Lucky Duck Games' page. I may have missed it because I don't see them available anymore, and I actually would have purchased one if they had one. So I think they only have the deluxe, the regular retail edition coming out, and it's going to be just a worker placement game engine builder, and you're going in sending your dragons out to collect different items to create your engine. So it's going to be releasing October 19th, Flamecraft. Renegade Games, American Psycho, a killer game, coming out on October 20th. I almost made a mistake there. October 20th. American Psycho. It's a theme based on the movies, and I think it's actually a book series. I may be wrong, and don't question my culture, please. But American Psycho is going to be a trick-taking game, and your whole thing about trick-taking in this one is going to be about your whole goal is to have the highest suit to collect different, get like the upper hand in society essentially, and establish your credibility that you're not the psycho. So there's going to be some pretty cool components. Looks kind of graphic, perfect for Halloween by the way, with Halloween coming up. And yeah, it's a trick-taking game. There's a lot of trick-taking games nowadays, and usually the ones with themes like this can be very questionable. However, if you're a really big fan of American Psycho, I'm sorry if I'm offending you if I haven't watched the movies or read the books. I'm sure there's a book. There's a book before the movie, I want to say. So your whole goal is to win the trick and collect your cards here that are going to give you different edges or objectives to get the upper hand on your enemies or your other players. So it's pretty interesting game, honestly. Trick-taking games usually seem to be kind of the bottom of the totem pole for a lot of people. They're really quick to bring out, but there's so many good trick-taking games already that when you throw another one into the mix with the theme of American Psycho, it's really difficult for it to distinguish itself or kind of flourish in this very, very saturated industry of trick-taking games. So this is American Psycho by Renegade Games, coming out October 20th. Coming up next, Viscounts. Everyone says Viscounts. I'm going to go with Viscounts for this one. Viscounts of the West Kingdom. These are a couple of expansions coming out by Garphill Games in collaboration with Renegade Games. I guess Renegade is going to be distributing these expansions for Garphill Games. So Viscounts of the West Kingdom. We'll go with that. There's a couple expansions, and this is the game I'm talking about that's really popular as well. Viscounts has really blown up, and it's a really big deal. I have yet to play it as well. However, there has been so many people who have talked greatly about this game. Viscounts specifically. The expansions, of course, aren't even out yet. And everyone loves it. Everyone really enjoys it. They say it's strategic. It actually has different variabilities to winning at the end of the game. I've noticed that as well through the playthroughs I've watched. So these expansions are definitely worthwhile to check out. Viscounts of the West Kingdom, Keeper of the Keys. Specifically, this one is going to give you some actually new mechanics to the game, thick player boards, new building spaces to build on, and new cards to collect for your tableau. There's going to also be so there's going to be like a starting townsfolk for each player as well that replaces that component. And there's more heroes, townsfolk player cards, and manuscripts. So it's just adding more variability to the game, and it's adding more components and new mechanic. Pretty good, honestly. The game's been out for I think 4 years now, 3-4 years now. So adding these expansions to a really popular game, honestly, isn't a bad idea. So it's going to be Viscounts of the West Kingdom, Keeper of Keys, coming out October 20th. And also coming out October 20th is going to be the Viscounts of the West Kingdom, Gates of Gold. So this one's just going to add a couple of new cards for variability in the gameplay. And it's going October 20th as well. So the cards are going to be similar to this things here. And cards are going to be here. These are kind of the way you do actions as well. So top left here is going to be a form of strength, and it's going to be at the bottom. It's going to be an action you can take. So it's, like I said, just adds new cards, new boards, new Castle Lido cards as well. It's very straightforward. It's typical expansion. This one specifically just adds more variability. The other one adds another mechanic. And the big one here is they're also releasing a Viscounts of the West Kingdom's Collector's Box. If you're a big fan of Viscounts in general, right, of the West Kingdom, I love collector's boxes, and especially since it's better storage. So this one specifically actually comes with really good storage and plastic trays, so you can actually store them in, as well as promos. By the way, it comes with a couple of promos. So I am really big on the like just having everything when I really love and enjoy a game. It's definitely an issue, but that's kind of like the way it goes. So Viscounts Skin and Collector's Box is going to release October 20th as well, and it's just basically a good storage. If you're a publisher, definitely recommend like get good storage for your games. I think it's so difficult. There's so many games out there at this point, and time is so limited for a lot of people that when you have a really bad storage or like a really bad organizer for your game, you don't have an organizer at all. You just throw everything in bags into your game, even if it's like even a heavy Euro or like a mid to heavy Euro, so you have a lot of components. Please keep in mind, like bringing that game to the table is really difficult. When you have a nice storage solution, though, it can be pretty easy. So I always recommend these stuff. Like these collector's boxes usually just make it easier to store everything, all the add-ons, all the expansions, the whole game, easier to manage when you bring it out. That's perfect, and that's exactly what we should be looking for. And this is why I recommend the box. It's actually not too bad of a price, $30. Some of my collector's boxes have been worth like $60, $70, $80, and it's just plastic and container in a container. So keep it in mind. Viscounts of the West Kingdom Collector's Box coming out October 20th by QVO Games in collaboration with Renegade Games. And that's it. That's it for this week. There's a couple more games next week that I said I gotta reach out to publishers to question about and ask and see what's going on with them to get the release dates for. But there's a pretty good lineup of games coming out, good expansions too. Like I said, Flamecraft is a big one. Block and Key looks really awesome. Viscounts of the West Kingdom as well. I mean, some expansions for that already super mega popular game. The game is really highly ranked and rated by a lot of people. So I want to play it soon. It's on my list, like the way a lot of other games are on my list too. However, if you like this video and you like what we're doing here at QVO Games, please drop a comment, like, or subscribe. That'd be super helpful. Comment even just what games are you picking up, or what games are you going to be picking up this week, or what have you purchased so far. That'll be awesome to start a conversation. So I appreciate that. And thank you. If you made it this far, I seriously appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Have a good one.